I'm here today to tell you why it's crucial to stop being soft to everyone and start prioritizing yourself. This isn't about becoming cold or uncaring, it's about finding the strength within you to stand up for what you deserve. Now let's talk about why we fall into the trap of being too soft. Often it stems from a deep-seated fear of rejection or abandonment. We think that if we just please everyone, if we never ruffle any feathers, we'll be safe. But here's the harsh reality: by trying to please everyone, we end up pleasing no one, least of all ourselves. Think about the people you admire most in your life. The ones who've made a real difference in the world. Were they people pleasers? Did they tiptoe around afraid to offend anyone? No, they were individuals with conviction, with passion, with the courage to stand up for what they believed in. Write these things down, make them concrete. Because once you know what you stand for, it becomes much easier to stand your ground. Next, we need to work on your self-talk. That little voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, that you don't deserve better, that you should just go along to get along. We need to silence that voice. Let's talk about the art of saying no. This is where many of us struggle. We've been conditioned to believe that saying no is selfish, that it makes us bad people. But here's the truth: saying no to things that don't serve you allows you to say yes to the things that do. Think about it this way: every time you say yes to something you don't really want to do, you're saying no to something else. Maybe you're saying no to time with your family, or time to pursue your passions, or simply time to rest and recharge. So the next time someone asks you to do something, pause, take a breath. Ask yourself, is this aligned with my values and goals? Do I have the time and energy for this? If the answer is no, then politely decline. It might feel uncomfortable at first. You might worry about disappointing people. But remember this: those who truly care about you will respect your boundaries. And those who don't, well, they're not worth your energy anyway. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but what if I need to be soft sometimes? What if there are situations where it's better to yield? And you're absolutely right. There's a time and place for softness, for compromise, for putting others first. The key is to choose when to be soft rather than defaulting to it out of fear or habit. It's about being intentional with your energy and your compassion. Think of it like martial arts. A skilled martial artist knows when to be as solid as a rock and when to flow like water. They have the strength to stand their ground when necessary, but also the flexibility to adapt when the situation calls for it. That's the kind of strength I want you to cultivate. The strength that comes from knowing yourself, valuing yourself, and making conscious choices about how you interact with the world. Now let's talk about the benefits of developing this inner strength. When you stop being soft to everyone, when you start standing up for yourself and your needs, amazing things start to happen. First, your relationships improve. It might seem counterintuitive, but when you set clear boundaries and communicate your needs, you actually create the space for deeper, more authentic connections. People respect you more. They know where they stand with you. And the relationships that can't withstand your newfound strength, those are relationships you're better off without. Second, your self-esteem skyrockets. Every time you honor your own needs and boundaries, you're sending a powerful message to yourself: I matter. My feelings are valid. My needs are important over time. This builds into an unshakable sense of self-worth. Third, you become more effective in every area of your life. When you're not constantly drained by the demands of others, when you're not spread thin trying to please everyone, you have more energy to focus on your goals and dreams. You become more productive, more creative, more alive. But I won't sugarcoat it, this journey isn't easy. There will be challenges along the way. People who are used to your softness might push back when you start setting boundaries. You might feel guilty or selfish at first. That's okay. That's normal. Growth is often uncomfortable, but I promise you it's worth it. The discomfort is temporary, but the strength you're building will last a lifetime. So how do we navigate these challenges? First, start small. You don't have to overhaul your entire personality overnight. Begin by setting one small boundary, or saying no to one small request that you would usually agree to out of obligation. Notice how it feels. Notice the sky doesn't fall. Notice that you survive and maybe even thrive in the face of that small act of self-respect. Then, gradually you can start to expand, take on bigger challenges, stand up for yourself in more significant ways. With each step, you'll be building that inner strength, that unshakable core. Remember, this is a journey. There will be setbacks. There will be days when you slip back into old patterns. That's okay. Be gentle with yourself when this happens. Recognize it, learn from it, and then recommit to your path of strength. Now, I want to address something important. Some of you might be thinking, but I'm naturally a soft person. I'm empathetic and caring. I don't want to lose that part of myself, and I want to be very clear, this isn't about changing who you are at your core. It's about adding to who you are. Your softness, your empathy, your caring nature, these are beautiful qualities. The world needs more of them, not less. But these qualities are most powerful when they come from a place of strength, not from a place of fear or obligation. Think about it this way: when you're secure in yourself, when you have strong boundaries, you're actually able to be more genuinely compassionate. You're giving from your overflow, not depleting yourself. You're choosing to be kind, not feeling forced to be. This is the paradox of strength that allows for a deeper, more authentic softness. When you're no longer being soft out of fear or habit, but out of genuine choice, your kindness becomes a powerful force for good in the world. So how do we put all of this into practice? Let's talk about some concrete steps you can take to start building your inner strength today. First, start your day with intention. Before you get out of bed, take a few moments to connect with yourself. Ask yourself, what do I need today? What are my priorities? How can I honor myself while still showing up for others? This simple practice helps you start your day from a place of self-awareness and self-respect. It sets the tone for making conscious choices rather than just reacting to whatever comes your way. Next, practice the pause. Whenever someone makes a request of you, whenever you feel the urge to automatically say yes, or to put someone else's needs before your own, pause. Take a deep breath. Give yourself the space to check in with your own feelings and needs before responding. This pause is powerful. It's the moment where you reclaim your power to choose rather than just reacting out of habit. Third, start expressing your needs and feelings more openly. Many of us who struggle with being too soft have a habit of bottling up our true feelings to avoid conflict or disappointment, but this only leads to resentment and burnout. Practice saying things like, I feel or I need it might feel uncomfortable at first, but remember, your feelings and needs are valid. Expressing them is not selfish, it's an essential part of healthy relationships and a healthy life. Fourth, learn to recognize and challenge your people-pleasing thoughts. When you find yourself thinking things like, I have to do this or they won't like me or I can't say no, it would be rude, stop and question these thoughts. Are they really true? What's the worst that could happen if you did say no? Often we'll find that our fears are exaggerated and the consequences of setting boundaries are far less severe than we imagine. Fifth, celebrate your wins. Every time you successfully set a boundary, every time you honor your own needs, take a moment to acknowledge it. Give yourself a mental pat on the back. This positive reinforcement helps to rewire your brain, making it easier to stand up for yourself in the future.